Albo tells us that there is corruption everywhere in our bloated public service, and the answer is to, wait for it, increase the size of the public service. Here's an interesting statistic. There are 2.1 million public servants in Australia, which is 7.7% of the total population. In Singapore, there are only 153,000 public servants, a mere 2.6% of the population. Guess which country has less government corruption? Instead of throwing money at a new extrajudiciary kangaroo court, why doesn't Albo fly a few junior ministers to Singapore to find out how they do it? Politicians are so caught up in their own world that they think their extravagant efforts to root out corruption in their own bureaucracy will earn our gratitude. The hell it will. We just want a bureaucracy that has no corruption in it in the first place. Which brings me to Victoria. Premier Dan Andrews was shocked last month when the independent broad-based Anti-Corruption Commission handed down a report that found senior Labor officials had for decades actively encouraged forgery, attempts to interfere with government grants, branch stacking, bullying and nepotism. The report found no misdeeds by Andrews himself, but he took responsibility for it, saying he would implement the report's recommendations. Now, even the opposition party is embroiled in this stuff. Last week, opposition leader Matthew Guy's chief of staff resigned after it was revealed he sought private funding for himself from a donor. This didn't break any codes of conduct, but it did raise questions about the opposition at a time when it should be on the front foot attacking one of the most authoritarian governments in Australian history. Integrity is now shaping up as a key issue in the state election due this November, when the real issue should be the heartlessness of the world's most draconian lockdowns and a strategy to get the state back on its feet. How do Victorians feel about this? Well, let's ask the brilliant Gideon Rozner from the Institute of Public Affairs. Gideon, welcome to the show.
Great to be here, my friend. Great to be here. Congratulations on the new show. I'm watching it. It is fantastic. I'm watching ADH. What ADH is doing is fantastic. This is my ADH debut, would you have you believe? So great to be here, my friend, and congratulations again.
Oh, good to have you here, mate. We are the new home for common sense commentary. Speaking of which, Gideon, do Victorians wish there was a third party they could vote in to get their state back on track?
Well, there are third parties. There are third parties that a lot of people, for example, former coalition supporters may have voted for at the federal election. Now, whether that translates into an increased freedom-based upper house in Victoria on the crossbench, we will wait and see. But look, the fundamental point is that I don't think this integrity stuff really shifts votes one way or the other. I think the Liberals will always have a harder time of it just because there is a double standard with how these things are covered in the media and just people's perceptions. I think in Victoria, to go back to Daniel Andrews, it's getting to the stage now where Labor is so entrenched in Victoria, so immovable for various reasons we don't have probably time to go into, but Labor is so entrenched that the city is almost becoming like, Chicago or one of those Democrat-run cities where a little bit of, footsies with the public servants and the police and the media, that's just accepted. That's priced into the stock of politicians. The Liberals, as I said, are judged to a vastly different standard for reasons, for various and complicated reasons. So I think this stuff wings Matthew Guy in a way that it doesn't wing Daniel Andrews. And in that context, if he is running an integrity agenda, which the Victorian opposition seems to be doing, he had to be more careful than this.